Hello planters, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are from, welcome back to another informative video. Now in this video it is basically an update video of the mint and the sweet potato tuber, right? And remember, these mint that you are looking at are basically propagated. So the one in the small pot was basically propagated and planted directly in the soil, and the one in the big pot was propagated via putting the cutting into water, right? And of course the sweet potato tuber was basically just placed in the soil in the container to basically propagate, right? Now let us zoom in, or let us go in a little bit further to see what our sweet potato tuber has been up to, right? And please remember that this sweet potato tuber is basically going 19 days now. 19 days, and look at the amount of shoots we have, right? This is very, very impressive. And this goes to show you that sweet potato, if you want sweet potato, you can always plant it even if you don't have vines, right? Look at this leaf, pretty. I just took a sweet potato and I just placed it in the container with some growing medium, and this is what I have, right? There are a lot of shoots growing, it's plenty for my garden. Remember, I'm preparing planting material for my garden. So look at them, they are so beautiful, right? Very impressive. I'm very happy with the result so far. Now let us take a look at this leaf. It is looking well. Physically it has a good form, it has a good shape, and it looks well. But if you look closely on the leaf surface, it has some chlorosis going on, spots of yellowing, and this is magnesium deficiency, right? This is magnesium deficiency, and I will have to add some magnesium fertilizer. Magnesium is basically a secondary macronutrient which the plant needs for chlorophyll production. Magnesium is an integral part of the structure of chlorophyll, and when I go in my series of talking about nutrient deficiency, you will know. But I'll have to add either some foliar fertilizer or some granular, whichever way. And please remember also that you can use Epsom salt as well to add magnesium to your growing medium for the plants, because Epsom salt is essentially magnesium sulfate, right? So you can use that. Now look at these, right? They are very firm. They look good, right? And I have roughly about 11 to 12 shoots growing here, so that is basically saying I have 11 to 12 planting materials, because each of these shoots is essentially a planting material. I can plant 1 or 2 in a plant pot, depends on how big the pot or the bag is, right? Now look at this vine here. This is these white spots. These are actually roots coming out, right? So if I should even clip off this vine at the base and plant it in some soil, roots would come out from these areas that I'm touching, right? So yeah, they are developing, and they are developing rapidly, and I'm very happy to see this kind of result. And this goes to show you that you don't need any fancy way to start to get some sweet potato vines. You just need you can get a sweet potato and just stick it in some soil, right? As I have demonstrated if you have been watching my videos, and this is what you will get, right? It is not complicated, it is very easy, right? Now as you can see, I'm just kind of giving you a little show of what is happening, right? And look at this small one here. Small one here is just pushing up, and it basically push through the soil. You don't want to put too much of a heavy layer of soil, and that is why I didn't cover it totally, right? But I'm going to add some more soil to this container to kind of just bring the level up some more, so that those same roots that I showed you can actually start pushing through some soil, right? Now let us take a look at this nice mint. And remember, this mint is basically the one that I just did the cutting and just planted it in the soil in this small container. And this mint is going 40 days, right? 40 days this mint is going, right? And this is where it's at. And remember, I told you that it was going to fill up the entire pot, and look at it so far. It is filling the entire pot, right? But I'm just going to have it, just leave it to grow some more before I put it in another pot. And remember, these are planting materials, so essentially I'm going to get some more cuttings from these to create a decent patch of mint, right? Because I want to have a decent patch, maybe one of the big bags that I showed you, if you have been following my videos, the fabric containers, the big pots, to fill those with mint. And these are the stems that are basically growing, lengthening, and will basically fill the pot and start hanging over, right? So I'm happy to where it is. I'm very happy. No signs of nutrient deficiency, and it is growing healthy, as you can see. Now, let us move on to this other mint. It's the same as the other one, and this one was the one that I set in water, right? This one was the one I set in water, and as you can see, it looks really great. It looks good, right? The leaves are green. They are not showing any signs of nutrient deficiency or anything like that. If you look a little closely, you will see a little piece of rosemary growing. I had done a rosemary cutting, so it is actually growing. And remember, these are all planting materials, right? These are our plants that I'm planting to get additional propagation from, planting material to plant out more area when I start to establish my garden, right? So it is good to start off with healthy planting material, disease-free planting material. This is obviously a very key part in starting a garden. So I'm taking my time to ensure that I provide the best planting material possible, disease-free, healthy, vigorous, and so on. These are the things that we need to do to have a good harvest. Now, look at these two plants, these two mint. Look at them, right? Are you seeing any difference? Observe. Now, look at the leaves. The leaves in the small pot, those leaves are obviously smaller than the mint in the leaves in the bigger pot. Now, let us talk about the mint in the small pot first, right? The mint in the small pot, obviously, the fact that the pot is smaller, it is holding a smaller amount of growing medium than the bigger pot. So the fact that it is holding a small amount of growing medium means that the plant has access to smaller amounts of nutrients and water. However, the bigger pot has more growing medium, so it has more access to more nutrients and more water. So you find that the one in the bigger pot, may be growing more vigorously, and because it has more resource pulling on, right? That can be one of the reasons, the size of the container. Now, the other reason could be the one in the small pot, I was exposing it to more sunlight, as in higher intensity sunlight, than the one in the big pot. The one in the big pot was basically under a tree. It was not too much shaded, but it was shaded. It wasn't getting as much sunlight as the intensity of sunlight as the one in the small pot. So that could be the reason, right? The fact that the one in the small pot was exposed to more sunlight, higher temperatures, and so on. Because remember, I spoke to you about leaf adaptation in terms of temperature. So that those two reasons could be the deciding factor in terms of the one in the bigger pot having bigger leaves and the one in the smaller pot having smaller leaves. However, both of them are healthy. But this goes to show you that if you are doing an experiment, these are the things that you have to look for, right? Because different environmental factors trigger different reactions or different growth patterns within plants. As you can see, this is living proof. The one in this small pot is basically has smaller leaves, right? The leaves are big, but they are smaller than the one in the bigger pot. The one in the bigger pot has bigger leaves, right? And as I said, the one in the bigger pot was not exposed to too much sun or high intensity sun, but the one in the small pot was exposed to more sun and more higher intensity sun, right? And also the one in the bigger pot, as I said, has more soil resource pulling on. The one in the smaller pot doesn't have as much. I hope you enjoyed this update, and as usual, if you have any questions, any comments, please put them in the comments here. Again, this goes to show you that you can set your cuttings directly in soil. If you want, you can start it in water, because as I said, the mint in the bigger pot, those were set in water, and then when they started to root, I transplanted them in the soil, and the one in the small pot was basically just set in the soil from the get-go, right? And also the sweet potato tuber was just placed in the soil, right? As you can see, three of them, they are growing well. So no excuses. You need to plant, just plant. I'm happy to share this update with you, because it is showing progress. Knowledge is power, right? And it is good to have knowledge, of certain things, before you actually go into it. Or if it is that you go into something and you don't understand, it is good to have the resource to kind of pull on, or kind of for reference to really guide you through. And I am trying to provide these kind of videos to teach you not only practical things but theoretical things. Obviously, I'm creating a garden now where I can teach you some more, right? Because of course, at the end of the day, when I talk about this theoretical stuff, you want to see it in practice, you want to see it. So that is why I've been kind of mixing my videos. So again, please remember to subscribe, leave any questions or comments in the comments area, and as usual, I'll see you again in another video. Thank you.